Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Professor Marie Shekels. On behalf of all the faculty, we congratulate the class of 2020 on your graduation and welcome you and your family and friends. Now, please continue to stand for our national anthem. Please be seated.
Good afternoon. I am Nina Mikulewski, Provost of the University of Mary Washington. As the institution's Chief Academic Officer, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to this undergraduate and graduate commencement ceremony. I commend all of you degree recipients on your outstanding achievements, and I welcome to the family members and friends who join the graduates in this very special celebration. Graduates of 2020, you are very special. Congratulations to you and to all of your family and friends. Go 2020. It is now my privilege to introduce Troy DePano, President of the University of Mary Washington.
Thank you, Dr. Mikulewski. Distinguished guests, parents, family members, but most especially the class of 2020. If the old saying is true, the greater the challenge, the greater the reward. Today's commencement is a true celebration of the reward of overcoming extraordinary challenges. Your class will undoubtedly go down in the annals of Mary Washington history. This commencement, while unusual, will be among its most meaningful. You've had a rare chance to reflect on your Mary Washington experience for a year before coming back with your classmates, friends, and family to memorialize what you have gone through and accomplished together. Time gives you the gift of perspective and allows you to more fully appreciate the meaning of this occasion, of this moment in time. I often wish I could go back to some of the momentous occasions in my life so I could more fully appreciate their meaning. In the intervening 12 months since finishing your education at Mary Washington, I hope you have had time to reflect on the meaning of your education, experiences, and the faculty, advisors, mentors, and friends you made here. I hope you've been able to fully appreciate the gift of being a part of a community where so many people invested in your life and your success. I also hope you appreciate that this is merely the beginning of a journey for you that will be filled with great challenges, but also tremendous rewards. If along that journey you ever need a sense of belonging, to be a part of a community where you matter, know that Mary Washington is always here. I once read a great description of the difference between happiness and joy that relates to this occasion. Happiness is the feeling a graduate has when they walk across this stage. But joy is the feeling that moms, dads, and loved ones have when they watch a graduate walk across the stage. Well, maybe we really are family here at Mary Washington, because when I look at you, I'm filled with joy. I'm so proud of you. Take pride in what you've accomplished and use your Mary Washington education experience as a foundation to lead a life of meaning and purpose. Congratulations. It is now my pleasure to introduce Pat McGinnis, class of 1969, to bring greetings on behalf of the Board of Visitors.
Thank you, President Payno, and congratulations to all of you. To the parents, families, friends, and distinguished guests, I welcome you on behalf of the university's Board of Visitors, which is the university's governing board. The board is honored to participate in this ceremony, and each of us shares a deep dedication to this institution and all of the people who make up the Mary Washington family. To the graduating class of 2020, we all offer our sincere congratulations for all that you've accomplished in your time at Mary Washington. And we are quite confident that you are prepared for your life's journey. We wish you the very best, and we sure are glad you came back to celebrate on such a beautiful day. Best wishes on your journey ahead. Thank you.
I now invite Lillian Lester to the podium to deliver welcoming remarks on behalf of the senior class, and I want you to keep an eye on her. No pressure, Lily.
Hey, hi everyone. I am so excited to be here today. My name is Lily Lester, and I use she, her pronouns, and I am a proud first-generation graduate of the class of 2020. Mom, Dad, hello. I know I didn't tell you I was speaking today, so surprise. At UMW, I served as the class treasurer for the class of 2020, so I am going to be fully honest with y'all. This time last year, right around the original date that all of this was supposed to be happening, the only thing that I could feel was anger, and I know some of you all feel the same. I was so mad at the loss of my last semester and all of the stuff that was supposed to come along with it. I was devastated that my time with all of you amazing people at this amazing place was cut short. And the year since has been turbulent. I've seen my friends struggling to find jobs and to decide next steps. I've seen all of you navigating what it means to live in this world post-grad, which is not something that a lot of commencement speakers can say. I've seen you protect yourselves and your people. I've seen you become leaders and activists. I've seen you take to the streets to fight injustices in Fredericksburg and in your home communities. And I've seen you come together and carry on in a way that is so moving and so inspiring. In the year since our first graduation, as with all of you, I've learned a lot. I think the most important lesson that I learned is that many things can be true at once. We are able to feel emotions that are sometimes completely opposite, all at the same time. So now I stand here before you, still pretty mad, but also proud. I am so proud of our class and of our generation for the way that we have shown up in the worst year that many of us have experienced. You all have displayed resilience beyond measure. I am so proud of you. You should be so proud of you. UMW is really lucky to have a class like us. I would also like to take this time to congratulate our 2020 winner of the Pinchmet Award, Dr. Melissa Wells of the College of Education. This award, selected by the graduating seniors, honors the memory of a longtime professor of biology who served as a role model and practitioner of exceptional liberal arts teaching, as well as a generous and tireless contributor of service to her colleagues, her students, and the institution at large. The recipient is selected by students as the professor we are most likely to remember as the one who had the greatest impact on our lives. Dr. Wells is a leader in the movement to provide college students with access to affordable course resources. Thank you for all you've done for our class. And thank you, class of 2020, for giving me something to miss so freaking much. I love you all. Get dirty.
Thank you, Lily. President Payno, I am now honored to present to you, the faculty, and particularly to the family and friends of the 2020 graduating class, several groups of graduates whose outstanding academic achievements have earned them special recognition. Will all of the students in the graduating class who have received awards for outstanding work in their majors, in your departmental honors, graduates from the University Honors Program, and those of you graduating with the highest distinction, summa cum laude, magna cum laude, and cum laude. Would you all please stand and be congratulated on your exceptional academic achievements? And I want you to turn around and look at your families and wave to them. There. Thank you, and congratulations. We now move to the recognition of degrees. Mr. President, please come forward. Will all the degree recipients please rise and remain standing? Class of 2020. Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting these candidates who have completed their degrees.
Will the platform party please rise for the confirmation of degrees? By virtue of the authority vested in me as president by the rector and visitors of the University of Mary Washington, and on the recommendation of the faculty, I hereby declare those gathered here today who have completed all degree requirements to be graduates of the University of Mary Washington, with all the rights and privileges thereunto pertaining. Congratulations. Please be seated. And now I call forward the graduates.
Lillian Caroline Lester. Haley R. Lavish. Mecca Haley Chaucus Garcia. Sarah Ann Krizwicki. Megan Nicole Hibbs. Wyatt N. Lipscomb. Benjamin P. Madrin. Austin P. Jones. Michael Andrew Gilchrist. Jacob Francis Frederick Hartis. John F. Hebler. Alexandra Elizabeth Cooper. Dana Jeanette Hessinger. Lyra Tucker. Catherine E. Hayslip. Maxwell A. Gorman. William Edward Carpenter. Joseph P. Langley. Patrick H. Fairfield. Catherine Michelle Curran. James Grigsby. Jacob D. Normand. Justine B. Purdy. Tarek Ziad Snowbear. Peter D. Charbonneau, Jr. Kiori DeSante Stewart. Kaylee L. Pope. Autumn Trower. Joseph J. O'Pekin. Samuel Heath Mackin. Laura M. Link. Elizabeth M. Gerneman. Theophilus D. Stamatis. Alexis S. Zager. Anna Veronique Turcott. Jessica N. Fitzgerald. Sharon D. Johnson Theodore. Alexander Joseph Moore. Gabriel Soriano Beltran. Alyssa Katarina Bilkovsky. Giancarlo A. Pavan. Harry C. Masters. Yesenia Hernandez Naranjo. Serena M. Smith. Molly O'Neill Beetleman. Rhonda Lynn Fowler. Hannah R. Miller. Taylor L. Malone. Laura Elizabeth Schneider. Allison Elise Crane Pryor. Rebecca Dolores Calloway. Olivia K. Wichelow. Savannah Lynn Lunger. Benjamin Allen Hansen. Tessa Nicole Honeycutt. Lucas Allen Edmonds. Lucy E. Kreutzer. Sarah Bernadette Gregory. Abigail Ryman. Kathy Wandry Lewis. Deborah K. Hunnell. Natalie Andrea Flores. Justine Francis Linhard. Laura Cabell Leonard. Faith Hodges. Blake Edward Crittenden. Lydia Grace Eisenberg. Mackenzie G. Johnson. Eric R. Buscana. Matthew J. Crawford. Bree A. Nicholson. Margaret Doe. Olivia M. Bridges. Jessica Ann Thomas. Anissa Noor. Naja D. Dozer. Matthew P. Grimbowitz. Elizabeth Reed Folsom. David Ernesto Mejia. Madison Elizabeth Garrett. Mary Margaret Goldzung. William R. Jones. Emery D. Matta. Cameron B. Godfrey. Alexandria Rose Annunziato. James Wallace Findley. Manal Yahia Elhak. Daniel L. Brummel. Jillian Elizabeth Sullivan. Gregory Paul Chisholm. Victoria A. Larimer. Meryl Deepa Menezes. James J. Smith IV. Sarah E. Kirky. Victoria Maria Lee Patterson. Karina Montserrat Davis from Ecuador. Jazeb Saeed Raja.
Congratulations again to all the graduates of the University of Mary Washington. I'm going to wait a moment for all your graduates to come back to their chairs before we go to the next phase, the next very important phase of today's ceremony. Okay, so now you may move the tassels on your mortar boards to the left side as a symbol that you are now graduates of the University of Mary Washington. Wear that distinction with pride. I wish you every success and happiness in the year ahead.
Now, to welcome you into the family of UMW alumni, it is my pleasure to introduce the immediate past president of the Alumni Association, Donna Gladys, class of 1968.
Good afternoon, class of 2020. I've missed you too. Last year, I was planning to be here with you, and while everyone else was saying goodbye, I was going to be saying hello and welcome to the other side of the family, the Alumni Association. And then everything changed, but not our enthusiasm for having you join the more than 40,000 proud alums of this university. I was planning to encourage you to stay connected with your alma mater, and that has not changed. You were robbed of time on campus, with your professors, and with your friends. But fortunately, the Alumni Association can provide all of those opportunities for you. The events that usually keep us connected to Mary Wash and to one another had to transition to virtual ones, like virtual social gatherings for regional networks around the country and virtual online learning experiences like Mary Talks. So there's still lots of opportunities to do that. Sooner rather than later, though, we will really be together again, and we hope you will come back to campus, meet up with your friends for homecoming and reunion weekends, enjoying old memories and making some new ones. Last May, I had planned to wish you sufficient wealth and abundant health, and I hope that in time you would know which was the most important. I could not have known then how quickly you would learn that life lesson. But here we are again, a year later, and we're still wishing you all the best and reminding you that you'll always be part of the Mary Washington family. So on behalf of the Alumni Association, we are here for you. Please take care of yourselves and keep in touch. Thank you.
Our ceremony will conclude in a few moments with the alma mater. We ask that you remain in your places until the conclusion of the recessional. Now, at the conclusion of the graduate recessional, ushers will dismiss by rows. So please remain until all the recessional students have passed. And now, please stand for our alma mater.